Jim Bovard, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Tom.
I read your article in USA Today not long ago, and having recently read your book, Public Policy Hooligan, which we'll have you on sometime in the near future to talk about, I know that you've had this perch at USA Today, this ability to write editorials in USA Today that will, of course, be hotly contradicted by somebody respectable at USA Today since the 1980s, and you continue to put it to good effect. The article title here is TSA Has No Excuse to Continue the Groping, and then they've given a sort of a subtitle, Thieving Agents, Racial Profiling, and Excessive Pat-Downs Haven't Made Us Safer. And the article starts by saying that the former TSA chief actually attacked one of your articles, calling it misleading, inaccurate, and it unfairly disparages the dedicated TSA workforce. We will not sit back and allow misinformation and conjecture to malign our employees. What did you do to get him so upset?
I told the truth.
Well, how about that?
Yes, well, it doesn't happen too often, but as far as some of these government agencies, I've written about the TSA, I guess, for a dozen years now, and I've followed their various boondoggles, and I've followed their lies, and I've watched them become more and more heavy-handed and violate the rights of millions of Americans every year. And I watched them impose one nonsense safety routine after another, which doesn't really protect anybody, but it gives government employees a lot of jollies. And the article that the TSA chief attacked was actually a piece in the Washington Times, but he was very vehement, and I was especially pleased at his phrase that I'd unfairly disparaged TSA agents. Because last week the Inspector General report leaked out that showed that the Inspector General undercover agents have been able to sneak weapons and makeshift bombs past 95% of the TSA agent checkpoints that they tested. And so it's almost impossible for a government agency to do worse, but so it's fun to play with that and see how to take the words from the past from the TSA chief and say, okay, well, what now?
You know, it's funny you say that about the weapons getting through and failing these tests, because I remember, of course, I've had many things go through that weren't supposed to. Like, hey, look, that toothpaste they were supposed to confiscate. I crossed my, I kept it somehow. Like it managed to get through. But I remember back in my academic days, I had brought a steak knife to work because I was bringing some leftovers. And so when I packed everything up into my bag that day, I had a steak knife, and I forgot all about it. And I had to board a plane that day. And I sailed right through with a steak knife, sailed right through. And I didn't even remember the steak knife was there until on the way back they did find the knife, and they sat me down and interrogated me. And it's fair enough. I mean, I am trying to bring a knife onto a plane. I get that. But it occurred to me, well, that means I got the knife through on the way here. A knife. Like, it's not like a microscopic thing. I got a knife through all these machines. How'd that happen?
Well, I mean, it's all a bunch of security theater, and they have all these rules and basically to browbeat people as if that's going to make them safe. And it's kind of I've had a lot of run-ins with TSA over the years, as folks might imagine. But one of my favorite stories was, I think it was in 2002, 2003. I was flying to Europe, and I had it was in the winter, and on the prior day I'd gone to a shooting range and spent a couple hours there banging away. And it was a cold day, so I wore my down vest, and I didn't think twice of it. And then I was heading to the airport, and then just as I was getting there, I kind of sniffed myself and like, ooh, because it just radiated gunpowder. It just smelled, 15 feet away. It just kind of had a very strong residue. But so I went through the TSA, and I got my boarding pass got marked with a big S, which meant I was taken aside, and the TSA agents, there were two of them, and they were going through my bag, every little inch of it. And I'd been reading about the TSA, so I started asking them questions about some of the agency's policies and about the TSA had just appointed a new chief, probably some admiral, and a very, very detailed question. And these guys started to were kind of looking at me and said, okay, it's fine, go. And it was funny because if those folks had done any kind of test for gunpowder residue, I would have failed instantly, and I was kind of concerned about that. But I got in the flight and I dodged the TSA bullet that day.
I want to read a couple of paragraphs, if I may, one at
Sure.
a time from this piece. In 2007, TSA expanded its covert behavior detection teams to search out telltale signs of dangerous travelers. More than 30 TSA agents complained in 2002 that the behavior detection program at Boston's Logan International Airport, which relied on idiotic terrorist profiles such as black guys wearing baseball caps backward or Hispanics traveling to Miami. At the Newark airport, TSA agents complained that supervisors pressured them to fabricate false charges against illegal aliens to boost the program's arrest numbers. Now, I'm reasonably informed about government abuse, but I didn't know about